Hi, gorgeous, and welcome to your new favorite podcast called Confidently Her. My name is Amelia, and I'm going to be your host. This first episode is really just an introduction. If you are from my future videos or you're from my past few videos, this is where I want you to go, and kind of just get to know me just a little bit more and really see where my whole idea for the podcast came about and kind of what my vision is moving forward. So, before I even get into anything, okay, I want to first say that gender does not matter when I say confidently her. Or when I refer to her, she, girl, woman, if you are a being that resonates, with feminine energy, you're in the right place, okay? I want to make that very, very clear from the beginning. Secondly, I want to talk a little bit about what the reasoning is behind kind of switching gears from my few videos in the past, because I have posted a little bit about women empowerment and kind of being a motivational, YouTuber, which I do enjoy, but I started feeling a little bit, kind of like a little bit pressured with being this like high value woman and feeling like I wasn't maybe enough for that. And or like my clothes, like I was getting really, I was just overthinking like my outfit for like the video, like, and it would discourage me a little bit. And then I started realizing, like, when you think of a high value woman, like what's the first thing that you think about? Like my mind immediately goes to like that high rise apartment. Like she has her Louis Gucci, like, and she just carries herself in a certain way and she just has everything figured out, right? And there's nothing wrong with looking at that and wanting that to be where you'll head one day, right? Like that's my vision board. That's like who I want to be. But I think that there's so much beauty in feeling confident whatever stage that you're at, especially if you're a woman. Like it does not matter if you could be at any age, you could be at any point, and there's beauty at where you are at, and there is an opportunity to change your energy and your frequency where you are to show up more confident, to show up more feminine, to show up more empowered, without being necessarily like this vision of being a high value or fitting into these boxes. And what I want to do with this podcast that I'm very, very excited about is really just diving into all that is femininity, you know what I mean? Being able to handle situations in a different way or seeing things from a different perspective, and that is truly what I want to do with this podcast. Me personally, I think my feminine journey started from a very, very young age, and the thing about it is I have always loved being a woman. There's been so many times when people are like, "Are you gay? Like, do you like?" And I'm just like, girl, like I freaking wish. Like if I could, I would. I love being a woman. I love women. I love, when you go to like a sleepover and it's like really late at night and you're like in your jammies and like all of a sudden it's not even like secrets come out, but it's like we just get so deep and raw and real, and that is what makes me like light up. Like that is my happiness. I love that, and I love that women share that kind of bond, and that is what I'm really hoping to do with this podcast eventually. You know what I mean? I want us to get our jammies on, come on here, and let's talk. Like let's really, I think having important conversations and looking at things from a different woman's perspective, and seeing where we can kind of change things and either, make them better or show up in a different light and, get the outcome that you're looking for, right? So, I remember I was about 12 years old, I think, and we took a vacation. I can't remember if it was Key West or if it was St. Augustine, but it was one of those like older towns. And I will never forget that I was just walking on the street, me and my family, we were like sightseeing and like, exploring the town. And this very old, sorry, that was rude, a more like older, wiser woman comes up to me and she basically like knelt down to me and was like, "You've been a woman in all of your past lives." And that's always stuck with me because I truly feel that, and I've never wanted to be a man. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very blessed. I will say I do feel like I'm an old soul. I have done a lot of self-healing. I've done a lot of shadow work and figuring things out. I've even done ayahuasca, which we can do a whole podcast on. But ultimately, even just a few weeks ago, I kept having this very strange anger towards men. And I remember I called my best friend and I was like, I literally like hate men. Like I don't like them. I would get angry if like I saw them like catching glances at me. I felt in a weird way like scared, but also like just anger is really a good word for it. I feel like I had this resentment towards men for all of like my past traumas and feeling like I was never good enough, and then now like men want me. Anywho, as of life, we go through these things, but I'm very happy that I realized that there was an issue with that. You know what I mean? I can't walk around and be upset with men. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. You have to, that's in a way like letting them win, right? We have to figure out what it is. What's the root problem there? Like, why are you upset? Why are you mad? Like, let's take it down a notch. So I really started focusing on energy shifting. We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. But basically what I did it this past weekend, and I'm not kidding, one weekend where I changed my energy, I changed my frequency, and literally we're here at this podcast. Like I changed my whole entire views on everything, like but that first step is of course like recognizing it, right? So what I did is I went out, okay? And I was just sitting at the bar, and instead of being closed off and being irritated and like nobody better look at me, like, you know, acting too good, because sometimes we do that, you know what I mean? As women, sometimes we have RBF, and sometimes we have this like, just because I called it out and recognized it doesn't necessarily mean that you might not have it, you know what I mean? We hold ourselves in this very like, if you're in a self-love healing journey, you kind of have this barrier up that could be, you know, subconscious. So I finally was just open. Like, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm just sitting here. I was like playing with my hair. I'm looking at the menu. I'm making jokes with my friends. Like, I'm having a good time and I'm doing me. When I tell you, I can't get the men off me. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy. And ultimately, the energy shifting and everything, what I did is I learned how to decenter men from my focus. There's so many times where we are in this self-love journey and we want to be a high value woman. And we do all this research and the sprinkle and the this and that. And all that we're doing is acting. All that we're doing is acting, ladies. I want you to be who you are. And being feminine is being calm, is living in the moment, is being nurturing, is being classy, is your RBF and your closed off energy and your crossed arms, that veers a little towards cockiness and conceitedness. And trust me, girl, I've been doing it for years. Like, I'm not kidding. One weekend, you know what I mean? And everything has changed for me. But what I would do, right, is I had that, right? I had this barrier up and I would let anybody in, whatever. And then the second a man would do the work and get there, right? And I would fall for them. I would become obsessed. Like, she's a Virgo, Libra, Pisces, babe. Like, she's obsessed. She's obsessed. And that pattern, when I recognized this pattern, it changed everything for me. It changed everything for me. Because you know who now is at the center of my focus? Is me. Am I having a good time? Do I like this man that's coming up to me? I'm just letting him do what it is, and I'm like, what do I think? You know what I mean? There's no pressure, there's no rush, there's no nothing. And ultimately, that's truly what feminine energy is. Just being, girl. There's no rule book on being this high value woman that everybody has to follow, and you have to do these things, and you have to hold yourself, ultimately what it truly means to be a feminine being is, number one, in my opinion, balancing light and dark feminine energy. Please do your research. We could do a whole episode on that. But if you are more light feminine, tap into that. If you're more dark feminine, tap into that. But you have to have duality. That's law. Number two, manifesting and writing down like your dream partner is definitely very fun to do in your pastime, and there's no right or wrong to do that. But what I want you to do is give people a chance. You know what I mean? My ideal look, y'all, is so freaking like, literally like, I remember this guy walked up one time and my friend was like, really? And I'm like, I know. Like, you already know. Like, I have hard eyes right now. But I love, like, the big tattoo, like, you know what I like. I just like it. But what I realized is that this was closing me off, and it was also getting me, it was making me kind of be disgusted by other men. And I met this guy recently, okay? And all that I'll say is, like, I feel very calm around him. As I'm doing all of this, like, healing and this stuff and whatever, this guy is not necessarily like my typical type, I guess, but the way that this man made me feel so calm and made me feel like I could like lay back and do me, and like he would take care of things, and like it was something very subtle, but I realized that that's, instead of thinking about physical looks and about what he has to have, and like, I want my man to be this and I'm gonna manifest it, I've now taken again my feminine power back and said, I want a man that makes me feel safe. I want a man that makes me feel calm. I want a man that makes me feel like how I just felt with that guy, because I've never felt like that before, right? Like, I'm always feeling like butterflies and like adrenaline, and like that is fleeting, and it leads to obsession for me anyways. I'll speak for myself. That's what that leads for me. And there is such beauty in being calm. I don't even know what the heck we're talking about anymore. How is this an introduction episode? Like, we just dove so deep. Okay. So that was just a little taste of kind of like what it is that I want to talk to you guys all about. And definitely leave a comment down below of kind of, topics that you might want to talk about. And I really want to, just share this journey with you. I want to grow with you guys. I want to build this like feminine community and bring back confident women. I want you to be so confident in being you. Definitely use this platform in the best way that I can. I want to shed light on topics, and help you all in any way that I am able to. So definitely leave a comment down below and let me know any specific topics you want us to talk about here on the podcast. And then also follow me on my Instagram. I'm going to be doing my posting schedule. I'm going to do shout outs, and I definitely want to build like a little beautiful community, if you will. Thank you, gorgeous girls, so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next one.